Welcome to Monovation Monday. My name is Mona Friday with Monovations Consulting. I teach people to speak their minds without breaking hearts. My mission: to create world peace one conversation at a time. Our theme for January is new beginnings. Last week we were discussing negative self-talk. One of our viewers reached out and asked if I would do a video on how to change the inner dialogue imposed upon us by negative and abusive parents. So that's what we're going to do today. I just want to say thank you to that viewer because this is a really good topic and I'm happy to be able to share some information. You want to be able to change, move from that childhood trauma into a more peaceful present. So I have 5 keys for you today to help you to do that. 1, set boundaries with your parents. Just because they're your family doesn't mean they have the right to be in your life. Depending on how abusive they were and if they're currently abusive, they don't even have to be in your life. So you determine that, but they need to earn the right to be back into your life. And, sometimes you just have to love them from a distance. So if they're too toxic, then it is your responsibility to keep them out of your life. However, if they're willing to work with you, then give them that time and tell them what your needs are. So, and give them very clear boundaries on when they can talk to you, when they can come over, and how you want to interact. So you do have that right to be able to do that. The second key is surround yourself with positivity. Make sure that you have good, healthy people in your life, that you have trustworthy family and friends, and also a mentor who can help you become your best self. Let them know that you're practicing creating a positive self-talk and that you are working through some issues with that negative self-talk that was imposed upon you by your parents. They might know your parents, they might have known what your upbringing was like, so they could be able to give you some good insight on how to do that. Number 3, practice self-compassion and self-forgiveness. It's so important to love yourself through this time. Your parents, you're not responsible for your parents' behaviors or their actions toward you. So don't take responsibility for that. Know that you are a loving, kind person and that you deserve the best. We all do. Everybody deserves to be treated well. So forgive yourself. Let yourself know that you are not responsible for what they did. So the words that you're hearing in your head are not from you. They're coming from somebody who was probably abused as well when they were growing up, and that's all that they know. And 4, number 4, educate yourself on the psychological effects of abuse. One of the great ways of doing this is through a program called Adult Children of Alcoholics and Dysfunctional Families. I attended that group for several years, and I believe that's where I got the most healing. And I think it's very important that we discuss that about, our parents are victims as well. I am sure that they grew up in the same household with their parents, and it's just a generational behavior. So you can break the cycle. I'm going to leave a link in the description box below on Adult Children of Alcoholics and Dysfunctional Families. It is the 12-step program, and you can get literature through these websites. You can get face-to-face or online meetings with them. And it's a great place to connect with other people. They have a workbook. They have this great big thick book, and it just goes through descriptions and other people's stories, and you'll find that you're not alone, and maybe you might be a textbook example just the way I was. So I highly encourage you to check that out. It's worth it, and that's a great place to find like people who are going through it, and also a mentor to help you get through that negative self-talk and possibly other negative behaviors that you'd like to get rid of. And then 5, um, seek the right professional help. I have gone through so much counseling in my life, and there's certain areas where I still struggle with. And what I've come to realize is that I needed trauma therapy to handle those issues. And so you might want to just check that out. Go right into trauma therapy, check with some different counselors and see what they offer. Really try to identify what you're struggling with and then reach out to a counselor and say, hey, do you have techniques to help me through these issues? So don't waste your time with all sorts of the wrong counseling. Make sure you get into the right therapy. So I have a bonus key for you, and that bonus is reframe the situation. Reframe the situation, reframe the memory. Now, once upon a time when I used to teach third grade, I would tell this to my students. Sometimes they didn't like the way a story ended, so I would give them a piece of paper and I'd say, rewrite the ending. If you don't like how it was, how would you have liked it to be? So I'm asking you to do this with a memory. Say you came home from school with a report card and you had a C in math, and your dad just yelled at you and told you how stupid you were and that you would never amount to anything, and then he smacked you, and that memory just circles around in your mind. Well, to reframe that, think about how would you have liked that situation to have played out. For me, I would have preferred that my dad look at my report card and he say, oh, you got a C in math. I bet that doesn't feel too good. What can I do to help you? And then put his hand on my shoulder and say, it's going to be all right. We'll get through this. I would have loved that. My dad wasn't abusive that way where he smacked me for a grade, because what you'll learn in Adult Children of Alcoholics, I was that perfect student. I was always doing the right thing and never breaking the rules. So, but this might not be the case for you. But just reframe it. And every time that thought comes to your mind, replay your new memory. And this will help you calm your body, calm your mind, and stop that negative self-talk. You can rebuild your past. Just create a new past through new memories. And this is going to help you greatly. So also, along with that, be kind to yourself. Be intentional when you're doing this stuff, and also be patient, because it takes some time to create a new habit and create new thoughts and new thinking. But it is key to have the awareness that, oh, that's a negative thought. Let me change it. Let me stop that. So you have the power to do that. And I encourage you to keep practicing. Surround yourself with the people who are going to help you reframe this and stop that negative self-talk. And it's just going to take a little bit of time, but it is possible. I hope this has been helpful. Until next time, I wish you peace, love, and happiness.